Well, there is no Fates Warning song called 2, as far as I know, so we'll have to go with 1. No, I have absolutely no experience with storytelling. It would be cool, though. I'd have to say my most recent one, the Acid Rain Machine. I put a specifically large amount of work into this one in particular, and I'm somewhat happy with it. But this changes all the time, so yeah, it won't last that long. I am fine, thank you for asking. Practicing art. Well, I used to do studies on occasion, but they got a little boring after a while, and I feel like they're just too much of a creative limitation. That sounds so pretentious. However, in place of that, I try to be very observant as to what really interests me and what I really like seeing, so therefore I can kind of try to replicate that in my art, whether that be level designs in games that I like, some cool clouds outside, or a song. Sometimes songs inspire my art. They do that a lot, actually. What food would I live off of? That's a really hard question. 'Cause, you can say you like a food, but would you really want to eat this nothing but this for who knows how many more years? Well, grilled cheese with olives, I could probably eat that for a while. And also, just gonna have to assume that there's no nutritional downsides of eating anything, because if you eat just one of anything, it's probably gonna kill you eventually. And other one, white chocolate covered pretzels. I like those a lot. What is your favorite art piece you have made so far? Probably this one. I really just like this character a lot. The brushwork is kind of cool in some areas, and I like the color scheme too. Yeah, it is pretty flawed, but I'd probably say that's my favorite as of now. Well, my family has 2 dogs, maybe 10 to 20,000 fish. There's a dead spider over there. I think I lost it in the carpet, but I don't know if that counts. But yeah, we have a few. Favorite color palettes. That would probably be whatever this is. I never put any thought into the colors I use in my paintings at all. It's almost always accidental. So, but yeah, I like this one. I have never watched Avatar, but if I had to guess, probably Earth. I like rocks a lot. I like dirt too. I don't know if trees count as Earth, but I like trees as well. Most importantly, I like sand. I don't know what they're called, but they're those somewhat large chocolate Easter egg things that are filled with something that looks like caramel but definitely isn't. I hope you know what I'm talking about. But those, yes, those are many miles ahead of any other candy. Nothing gets close. Least favorite color. That's pretty hard. So if we can ignore Hydrilla's death stare on the left, it would be kind of around there between the, I don't know, you call that magenta maybe, and the red. Okay, now I am a very large, okay, for me at least, magenta and pink, they're the same thing. I don't know the difference. I really like those colors. I like them a lot. But right next to that red, it just plummets. It's kind of ugly in my opinion. I mean, I have used it a good few times, and it's probably just because I haven't used it enough that I dislike it. That's how I felt about yellow way back when I never used yellow, and I still don't use it much. But when I do, I always feel very happy. Well, I sit around and look at the internet sometimes. I sit around and play Minecraft. I do push-ups sometimes. Push-ups are really fun. I would totally recommend doing those. Yeah, I also eat. Yes, I eat too. Oh, yep. I also sleep sometimes. I do that sometimes as well. That's pretty much all I do in a day, not counting art. Favorite school subject? I'm probably just gonna say history because I don't really like anything else. And still, history can be pretty boring sometimes, but there's a lot of interesting stuff that has happened there. So yeah, history. Career path, I really don't know. I don't really have any skills. But I I would like to get a job that somehow incorporates doing art. That would be cool. But again, don't have any skills in that, so that would be pretty hard. Well, I don't. I mean, I coincidentally, I did actually do it a few days ago. 2 days ago, the acid rain machine, yes, I was on one layer. But I almost never do it because, usually if there's a foreground that I want to keep distinct and not something that can easily blend into everything else, then yes, I'm going to need to keep that on a separate layer. But otherwise, then yeah, one layer is fine. But that almost never happens, so yeah, it's really just a matter of just not accidentally drawing on the wrong layer, so you just keep it all in one layer. Makes things a whole lot more simple. Or just switching between layers, finding which layer corresponds to what, that can really add up some time and just become really irritating. So yeah, you just gotta find a nice balance for how many layers you need for whatever individual project. Well, as much of a music fan as I am, I have no musical skill whatsoever. I do have this very loud keyboard over there that I play somewhat regularly, though. So I don't know if that counts. I'm not sure if it counts that I can play it. I just I use it, I guess. Um, well, I never really thought about having any goals until I read this comment. It just never crossed my mind. I guess, maybe. I don't know. Uh, that's fine. I mean, with the amount of information the human race collectively forgets all the time, it's really not that much of a big difference, so yeah. I must say, I really appreciate how you ask a very philosophical question immediately followed by a very nonchalant one. I like that a lot. Um, Respect. And yes, I have, but no one would buy them. Yeah. I don't think my art's really there quality wise, and two, I don't think anyone that follows my art in any whatever platform you're talking about has actual money to spend, and if they did, they wouldn't spend it on art. So yeah, that's why I haven't. Um, I don't know. Ketchup or mustard? Well, I think back to. It's been a good few years since I last had mustard, and I remember really hating it. But, like, strangely enough, the memory of the taste sounds appealing. So I don't know if I'm just remembering it wrong, yet I'm still remembering as disliking it. I don't know. It's confusing. But either way, I don't care how bad mustard tastes. It doesn't taste as bad as ketchup. So mustard all the way. And I don't really watch them except for the guy with the face that looks like a cod. I watch that guy. A few other ones occasionally, but mostly just him. Um, the cartoons. I've seen a few cartoons before, just on occasion for whatever random reason, but I've never actually like followed one or watched a significant amount of episodes from any, as far as I know. And thank you very much for the kind wishes. Well, all textures are different, so it would be practically impossible to explain how to do them all well, which even so I couldn't do because I don't know how to do them all well. Um, I'll give you my very limited tips though. So I'd advise using a hard edge brush for just about everything, and of course you can always make something a little bit more smooth later on, but vague, airbrushy, blended forms does not work for everything. It works for a few things, like skin and smooth pebbles, I guess, but you're better off using a hard edge brush for just about everything. Um, Also, I am biased to say you should start with rocks, learn how to do rocks first, because that's what I did. I love rocks. Um, yeah, there's no particular reason why. They're just a cool texture. Also, remember that while you're learning a new texture, there will always be immense frustration. That process has to happen. Your brain's just gonna have to really struggle to figure out how to replicate it and all. That might just be me, but it's nice to know that it's a natural part of the whole thing. So just don't give up, because your brain will pick up on it eventually, even if it takes like a week. And even if I was the best artist in the world, 611 people subscribing to me is absolutely ridiculous. There is no way I can be underrated, no matter how good I am, which I'm not good at all. Uh, that's a ridiculously large number. I mean, it is going down all the time, but it's still a very large number, and There's no way I could be underrated with a following that large. So, yeah. Thanks, y'all, though. I really do appreciate that. Okay. That's me. That's a self-portrait. I made this a while ago. Me screaming at a light bulb, but yep, that's what I look like. That's my face. Anyway, goodbye.